Are you waiting for your employment-based I-485 green card application to finally be adjudicated and you're not sure what's happening? My name is Emily Sumner from Sumner Immigration Law, based in Richmond, Virginia, but serving clients throughout the United States and throughout the world. We are getting lots and lots of questions from clients about I-485 processing times, especially for employment-based cases. That's totally understandable, and we share your frustration. Here's what we know is happening right now. USCIS has directed the Texas and Nebraska service centers to stop adjudicating the employment-based I-485 cases that they have on hand. That happened earlier in 2022. They're directing USCIS instead to transfer those cases to the National Benefits Center. USCIS says that they've done this so that the officers that were working on the employment-based I-485 applications can now focus on I-140 petitions and clear that backlog. So what's happening when your case is transferred to the National Benefit Center? First of all, USCIS says that a case will not be transferred to the National Benefit Center if an officer at the Texas or Nebraska Service Center has already started adjudicating the case. So for example, if they have issued a request for evidence or annoyed, then that case would stay with that officer at the Nebraska or Texas Service Center. The rest of the cases, like I said, are being transferred in shipments or have been transferred to the National Benefit Center. The process for submitting an inquiry on your case. So a lot of people want to know, hey, it's been transferred to the National Benefit Center. What timeline can I expect? Unfortunately, that's really hard for us to tell. If you look up the case processing timelines on the USCIS website, so I just Google USCIS processing times, and then you select in a drop-down menu the form number, which is the I-485, and that it's an employment-based I-485, the National Benefit Center does not show up as an option to check. You'll see what I mean if you check online. So that's super frustrating. They're not giving us timelines. USCIS says we can still inquire on case processing through the quote-unquote normal channels, which is the contact center or online, the Ask Emma. So we have those options still, but making this even more confusing, I think, is that USCIS is also transferring cases once they reach the National Benefit Center to a local field office for final adjudication. That may happen even if the interview is waived. So once the file has reached the National Benefit Center, USCIS is saying they will transfer it to a local field office, which will do the final adjudication. At that point, they may adjudicate, they may approve the case. If everything is set to go, they may schedule an interview. We're receiving notifications now of clients that have interviews, even for employment-based green cards, which is possible, or they may issue a request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny. That could be for any number of issues. In our practice, we're really seeing receipt note or RFEs for medical exams, or if there's a criminal issue that may come up in an RFE or annoyed, but mostly it's for medical exams and or proof that the job offer still exists. So it's very frustrating. So what can you do from here if you're waiting for your green card to be approved? Number one is to do your best to keep track of the case. You should receive a transfer notice when it's sent to the National Benefit Center, but we're not seeing those transfer notices when it's sent to the local field office. The way that we know that it's sent to the local field office, if we know at all, sometimes the case is just approved, but if we know at all, is we're getting a request for evidence and it says to send it to Chicago or Charlotte or wherever. It may not be a local office, local field office that's local to you. It depends on caseload and just what they order. Of course, if there's an interview, hopefully that should be scheduled at your local field office, the one closest to where you reside. But that's what's happening right now. So make sure that you're keeping track to the best that you can, the best extent that you can. You can, of course, look up your case status online on the USCIS website using your case number. You can create a My USCIS account and enter your information to get regular emails and text messages about any changes. Keep in mind that the online status is not always timely updated and it's not always accurate, which is frustrating in itself. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you have a valid medical exam. This is not legal advice. None of this is legal advice. but you will have to have a valid medical exam before the green card is approved. So depending on when you had your medical exam done previously, you may have to get a new one if the medical exam has expired. So you may have to have a new one. You may, again, consult with your attorney about this, but you may want to go ahead and have one done if you know that you'll need to, just so it's done. And when you get the request for evidence, you can send it in. Again, not legal advice, consult with your immigration attorney. And then the last tip that I have is to have patience and faith. And I know that's very easy for me to say. I'm not in this situation. I'm not waiting for a green card, but I have lots and lots and lots of clients who are, and I really do feel for our clients and for everyone else who's waiting. I know it's a very long process. I know it's very frustrating to not have much transparency from the government agency that's processing, but that's where we are right now. I hope that you have found this information helpful. I hope that you will like and subscribe and share this video with a friend. Until next time, I'm Emily Sumner from Sumner Immigration Law.